Blues, your source for all things Everton. My name's Connor Williams, and we're back with another video. And today it is a player focused video, and fittingly, it is on none other than Dele Ali. It's on Dele Ali because as of today, the 28th of February, lots of Dele Ali news broke, and yeah, mainly about his contract. Will he stay? Will he go now? So we'll be breaking it all down. Firstly, it was the news that Everton are open to handing Dele Ali a new contract this summer. If the midfielder was to sign a contract extension, Everton would owe Spurs a lump payment. Dele is keen to remain at Everton and in the Premier League. That came via Paddy Boyland in The Athletic. So basically, The Athletic have mentioned that Dele Ali ideally wants to stay. If he hits 20 games, we have to pay Spurs 10 million. We were in negotiations with them in December about reducing that and the overall payment if he signs a contract extension. Yet to be seen if that actually got us anywhere. But there are more stuff coming out. So obviously, like I said, nobody is prepared to rule him out of returning for pre-season at Everton. The belief is that he's making positive progress and is in a good space, eager to repay the faith shown in him. The next stage is of the process saw him return to Finch Farm, where he's ready to undergo his rehabilitation, which is fantastic to see. The Athletic also said Dele Ali is eager to repay Everton's faith in him after they've shown, support during his rehabilitation, his mental health as well. Everton are big supporters, I guess you could say, but they are, supporters. They've supported him through all of that. So he's looking to repay, which is a fantastic attitude to have. The relationship between Dele Ali and Sean Dyche is apparently positive. Dyche has been supportive in the whole process, checking in regularly, and there is a feeling that he's perfectly suited for that Decore role in the Dyche system, which is interesting. Not that Dyche checked in, or that Dyche and him have a good relationship. That is, if you know Sean Dyche or have listened to any of his ex-players, that is well known about him. I can't remember who it was. They were on a podcast, but they said Sean Dyche still texts him every now and then, and Dwight McNeil had said that he did it, that Sean Dyche checks in with Dwight McNeil and asks how Dwight McNeil's partner is after her operation. He is a very hands-on manager, caring manager, so I'm not surprised that the dialect between those two has been ongoing and that it's good. It's interesting about the Decore role. Obviously, when Dyche first came, I didn't think there was room for Dele Ali because myself and a lot of people thought it'd be 4-4-2. Now that it's a 4-4-1-1, I guess there is scope for Dele Ali in that role if he can stay fit. He has if you think of Dele Ali when he was at his peak at Spurs behind Kane, he can play the ball. He can play the balls nicely forward, but he also is an attacking threat and a good finisher. So it is interesting. Dele has also spent the early part of his recovery from surgery in London. A move sanctioned by Everton that has allowed him to stay close to his tight-knit support network of friends and family. I think I'd seen that he was somewhere, maybe a different football game. I'm not too sure. I definitely saw Dele Ali somewhere. People were on Twitter going, what's he doing there? The classic, what's he doing there? Why is he not watching Howard's Way on DVD? No, but people were asking why he's there. That's why the club have allowed him to, because he's closer to what he knows and what he needs right now, which is his family and friends. So that's absolutely fine as well. The big player focus, though, is Dele Ali. Do we keep him? I'll go through some of his stats, what I personally think. But first, before we get into that, what do you guys think? Let's find out. There was a poll on the Toffee Blues. Would you give Dele a contract extension? 4,454 of you have voted. 21.5% said yep. 21.5% said I don't know. Draw. And 57%, a resounding 57%, including myself, unfortunately, which I'll catch on to now, said nope. So yeah, I said no. 57% of you agree with me. Let's get into it. Firstly, I think it's fair to say that Dele Alli has had a really tough, like, my opinion on it is purely for a footballing base, which I'll get onto. But it has to be said, I do feel for Dele Alli. I feel really sorry for him because of the injuries he's got. I feel really sorry for him because of his mental health hasn't been good, and he did that podcast with Gary Neville, going into his childhood and how traumatic that was. So my heart goes out to him, completely. And I think he's a strong to get where he is as a footballer after watching that podcast with Neville is is amazing in itself. But the fact that he has overcome so much and now is facing, let's be honest, a tough time in his career, but he's ready to try and overcome that is also quite something else. Um, the only reason I say no is completely a footballing reason. I'm not bothered about the fact that he turned up with a nice car first day of training. Footballers have nice cars. That's what happens when you can afford nice things. People buy them. End of. Not fussed about that. I think his attitude, according to this report, has been fantastic. He wants to get back on the grass. He wants to get playing football again. He's realised what the club have done for him. He's ready to repay it. Fantastic attitude. Can't knock that either. Do I think he fits the role? Yeah. A prime Dele Alli would have been fantastic in this. He can pass, he can dribble, he can score, he can take people on. He would be phenomenal in that Decore role if you could promise me a prime Dele Alli. There's no doubt about it. He definitely fits the tactic. So there's no worry about that. My problem with it is, and it feels really horrible to say because he's currently going through an injury, but it's the injuries. And also, I feel like even if I can get over that, and get over his numbers for us and Pasikitas, which I'll get into in a minute, I do just think he's joining us at a really bad time for Everton. In terms of the lump sum from Tottenham would come similar time as we're meant to be paying for Beto. And currently we are without an owner, without a real owner. I know we've got Fad Mashiri, but he's looking to sell him. We're in a limbo with 777. We've had 2 PSR breaches that have caused point deductions. Part of me thinks can we afford the 20 million? Probably not. Core losses. Try and figure something else. I'll try and get someone maybe a bit cheaper from down on the football leagues or from an unknown league if we need to, which we do need to get a cover for that Decore role. Can we afford the 20 million plus what we're paying for Beto? Probably not without selling big. I don't even know if we don't sell where the money comes from. I'm assuming Fahad Mashiri's keeping the lights on, but also I'm hearing loans have been taken out. So yeah, I feel like Dele Alli is caught in a limbo of it might be the worst time for Everton to take a gamble on someone. And I do believe that it would be a gamble. It'd be a gamble that I'd want to succeed because of what he's been through. But, let's not beat around the bush. It would be a gamble. And can Everton afford that? I'm unsure. I'm really, really unsure about it. So let's get into his stats for us. Let's have a look. It's a little bit confusing on the app I'm using because they're a bit funny about when he joined. So we will go the 2021-22 season, which is when he joined us. He played 21 games, started 9 of them, 47 minutes per game on average. He got 1 goal, 1 big chance missed. Not an awful lot in terms of goals. Didn't really have many chances. Created 2 big chances during that season with 0.5 key passes a game, sort of thing. He did play well in the Crystal Palace game. Obviously, the synonymous Crystal Palace game that kept us up. He did play well. Stats don't really show it, but he did He played well, but I also think it was altered by the fact that we had to change shape, and I think changing the shape helped. I think people sort of are under the illusion Dele Alli came and did a Steven Gerrard in the FA Cup, or came on and grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck. He didn't. He did play his part and he played well, but the team shape is what caused that turnaround. Um, so we'll go off. That's not the best one to compare him to. 2022-23 season, he only got 2 games. It was against Chelsea and Villa, 19 minutes per game. Again, only got 11 touches, so it'd be really brutal to judge him off that as well. So I'll have to go to Turkey now for the real numbers. Because in Turkey, he played 13, started 10, 55 minutes per game, one team of the week. I don't mean the FIFA EA Sports one. This is SofaScore. He got 2 goals in Turkey, one big chance missed. He got 34 touches, no big chances created, and 0.5 key passes. His Turkey stats suggest that he did okay in Turkey. I don't think he set the world alight there. There was that sort of rumor that the manager at Besiktas had fallen out with him or wasn't impressed with him. And this is what I mean. He went to Turkey to try and turn it around, and he couldn't. This is a league that, no disrespect to the Turkish league, but it's made the likes of Michy Batshuayi look quite good at times. I think it's complemented certain players, which is, says all it needs to really. His goals did come in one came in the Turkish Cup, which was pretty decent. But overall, I just feel with Dele Alli that there's this risk, there is this overwhelming risk that it could go completely wrong. And then I don't know what we do then if it goes wrong and we've paid for him. I don't know if we can afford that risk. If it was an alternative universe and he was on a free transfer now, and it was a bit like Lingard before he went to Korea, where he's on a free transfer, maybe I'd say chuck the risk on because he's a free. But 20 million for a player that it really pains me to say, because obviously it's very well known he's struggling, but 20 million for a player that I don't think has proven to be a 20 million pound player quite yet, is, it's a bit much. And it is a shame because, he's good at blocking the ball, he's good at finishing, he likes to play counter-attacking threats, he likes to dribble, do layoffs, he likes to be an indirect set-piece threat. He would really suit Sean Dyche's system, which is why I can see why Sean Dyche would like to ideally keep him. I can't seem to shake the fact that this is a risk at one of the worst times to be a risk at Everton. We're not exactly in a position where we can afford to take risks with people. It's a really tough time for us. And yeah, I can't quite shake it. If this goes wrong, it could come back to bite us. Which, like I said, is a shame. Because I really like Dele Alli. And I think that if this was Dele Alli that we saw glimpses of when he was at Spurs, even if he was like 3/4 of that, I'd say, yeah, fantastic. Let's get him sorted, because that was a good player that could use, that we need. It's not like, it's also worth pointing out, it's not like we are currently sat in a position where we're like, oh, we can be picky. We need numbers and bodies. But for 20 million, could we get a couple of bodies in for that price? That's, it's quite tough. It is also worth pointing out that while he was in Turkey, he he did struggle. I really can't get over the fact that he struggled in a league that has complemented a lot of footballers extremely nicely, more than they should be. Yeah, I think that overall, guys, I think that's the point I'm trying to make. I get that the manager likes him. I really do. And I get that Dele want, and I'm glad Dele has that attitude if he wants to repay us. I think that's a fantastic attitude to have. Um, I just cannot shake this underlying feeling that it could all go wrong, and Everton would have to pay a quite hefty fee if it goes wrong. Um, and for me, that makes it a no. That makes it a no. I think I'm fully on the no, just because it's a bit of a risk. But let me know what you think down below. Let me know, would you keep Dele Alli on? Hearing all the stuff that's come out today. I don't think the player could do any more. I think my underlying statement here is I just think he's came in a really bad time for the club and himself, sort of thing. Obviously, he's had trouble, but the club is in a bit of a mess at the minute, and he's come for a fee that I just don't know if we can afford. Is the underlying worry there? Any other time in our 5 years earlier, we'd have took him. Hopefully, 5 years time, we'd be able to afford to take that risk again with players. Right now, it's just a bit tough. But yeah, let me know. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and comment down below your thoughts. Look forward and read them. See you soon.